Hello, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
I'm Jacob Wilde, too.
And welcome to our Animaniacs 2020 Season 2 recap podcast. I feel like the fact that we have to keep doing this 2020, Halloween 2018. I feel like that's like an Animaniacs gag waiting to happen, just the year brackets. All right, anyways, how are you guys? Happy to have you all. This is, I got to admit, I have not been hearing an ounce of conversation about this, about Animaniacs, so we're kind of here to, to foot the bill, if you will. We, all three of us, I think it's fair to say that we really liked the first season, but it didn't necessarily blow us away. And I'm a little bit on the same page with season 2. I think I did like season 2 a little bit more. I kind of got into a rhythm of all right, you just got to accept that it's not going to be the exact same Animaniacs. We're not getting the ensemble back together. That's, I did like that we had more scratch and sniff. I did like that we had more development with the executive character. She was actually a big highlight for me this season. And most importantly, I really feel that the writers just, I mean, it's nothing against the Pinky and the Brain segments from last season, but for some reason, that guy, I'm sorry, we'll explain the Dexter thing. For some reason, the Pinky and the Brain stuff in particular just really, really got me this time around. I was really impressed by how much I was enjoying the Pinky and the Brain stuff pretty consistently. The Warner stuff, unfortunately, is a little hit or miss for me. I do really, really like the running gag that Yakko just wants to break out into the nations of the world song every chance he gets. That cracks me up. I will say by far the best episode is the Oliver Twist episode. I thought the Oliver Twist episode is like that to me is like Animaniacs in top form. It's like it's just as good as anything from the classic era. I really loved everything about that episode. So overall, I'm not super stoked on this season, but I'm pretty fond of it. That guy, yeah, unfortunately, I'm in California and we have rolling blackouts. Yay, it's fun. Fire season and all that. So that's what ended up happening with the Dexter podcast. We're just going to go ahead and pre-record that guy, and it will be up tomorrow. So look for that regardless. I'll make a community post about it since you're interested. All right. Jacob, why don't you go next?
No, I'm actually kind of on the same page as you regarding the whole the overall quality. Like
Jacob and I on the same page?
It's happened before.
For sure.
It's a little rare. It's a little rare.
I mean, what I'm referring to is like mainly the fact that I like the first season. But I do think this season is like actually a step in the right direction as far as the improvement of it goes. Like, and I don't know. Actually kind of brings to a statement that I had left in the comments when you guys did season 1. Like, I do kind of agree that they handled the Pinky and the Brain stuff better than they handled the Warners. And that even stays true this season.
I think that's especially true this season.
So it's like Pinky on the Brain. Except for like a few like episodes that weren't as good as the rest of them. Like Pinky and the Brain was almost like consistently on fire this season. The Warners, I have to admit, a lot of the Warner stuff actually is better than last season. I think they dialed down a bit of the overall harshness that they had last season. It's still there, and I think it's more in tune with how the original series was. Like, it's less caustic, but still has the pot shots and all that.
Sure.
It still doesn't match the charm, but it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Also, really quick, it really bugs me that for the second season in a row, like towards the end of the season, it's like, oh, by the way, we also have these new characters. I don't know. I figure I feel like that's got to be some sort of scheduling thing or something like that. That it was really weird to me. It's like I like those sketches, but they just feel really out of place in the grand scheme of things.
But my thing is my thing with that is if they're not allowed to use the old characters, I mean, maybe that's because maybe that will change once the new season 3 comes out. But if they're not allowed to use them, they need to make more of their own original sketches. I mean, I like some of the new stuff they've done. I mean, like, especially like stuff.
God, that guy says favorite song. That guy, there's a lot of them. I'm gonna have to kind of give you the answer as we go along. I mean, there's a lot of really good contenders here.
And what I was saying.
Go ahead, Jacob. I'm sorry.
It's fine, but what I was saying was like, if they can't use the original ones, if they want to increase the variety, they need to come up with or at least use more of their own original sketches more often. Like either have more of them, or like use Starbucks and Cindy and the Incredible No in people's mouth more. Or just have more of their own original sketches instead of just Pinky and the Brain and the Warners the entire time. Like,
I think 2 Warner sketches an episode gets a little grating for me.
Like I said, they at least need more variety, or at least kind of. I guess that's what I mean. Is like they just need to have more of the original sketches if they can't use the ones from the original show. That's pretty much all my point is there. But overall, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I was just going to recap, like saying, basically, I do think this season is an improvement, and hopefully, if they iron out all the kinks from this season, season 3 could be something special.
All right, Dragon.
Yeah, so I mean, look, on the whole, I mean, just seasons 1 and 2 in total, I think the reboot's been successful, but definitely the issues from season 1 have not really been fixed. And again, I can't help but voice it's ridiculous that we didn't get any of the writers back from the original Animaniacs. That just still is just I can't wrap my mind around that.
But technically, season 1 did have Randy Rogel return.
Well, do you know what I'm outside of Randy Rogel?
Well, but still not having any of them return.
Fine. So with the exception of Randy Rogel, we get anyone back.
Okay, I know. I'm just being pedantic.
Right. So, and it's the fact that the original writing staff and the characters that they voiced or had a whole lot to do with. I mean, the fact that almost more than half the cast is gone because of that. It just really shows, especially by season 2, and the fact to echo Jacob's sentiments. It's the fact we're not ambitious enough to try new stuff. Just lean into we're leaning into the self-aware humor, which I do like, but just we're not. It's just the fact that we're not overshadowing it. We're underserving things. We gotta put more work into the original stuff because I love the Incredible Gnome in people's mouths. I love it so much.
I honestly think that could just be like I wouldn't want it every episode, but I think if you rotate between that and the Weird Elmira knockoff, I think that would be a solid way to rotate the new sketches out.
Honestly,
make one, leave one.
And honestly, I think that they did the gnome episode in this season was better than the one in the last one.
And that's what I'm saying.
What I like about the gnome concept is it feels like it feels like baby's first Curb Your Enthusiasm almost.
Pretty much.
It's just kids, it's like a good way to convey this is why Curb is funny.
It's that mixed with an homage to the Bill Bixby Hulk, which I adore.
Right.
It's a winning combination for me. I love it. And it just bothers me that wait, you mean to tell me we got a new season and they had this built-in 3, essentially with very few exceptions, it's 3 shorts per episode. And again, it's like what Tiki said, it's Warner's, Pinky and the Brain, then Warner's, or switch the order around, switch the shells around, but it's going to be the same thing. And you're going to save the 2 original ones until the very
because of that, the season got really blurred for me. And I want to emphasize here, first season I watched all in a binge, so it was really that first season is really a blur. This season I feel like I did make the right call and watched about 3 to 4 episodes an evening over the past week. So I feel like I'm a little bit more versed in this, but still, just the fact that it's Warner's, Pinky and the Brain, Warner Brothers, Pinky and the Brain, it's still just but by that very nature, the episodes kind of have a tendency to run together.
And the fact that we don't try the original stuff or bring it back again until the very end of the season, practically, it's just,
yeah.
And also, as with Pinky and the Brain, just goes to yet again, demonstrate that even Pinky and the Brain with the new iteration deserves a spin-off. Also,
Can we just get a Pink? At this point, I would be totally fine with just a season of Pinky and the Brain without the Warner Brothers. Honestly,
yeah, which I mean, it happened before. Why not again?
Yeah,
we did it once already.
And those stories can be more fleshed out too.
But they're going to be in such a bind if that happens. If they retired Pinky and the Brain from this new season of Animaniacs, it's what they need. But because right now they got nothing, they'll be completely exposed.
I'm saying I've seen enough of Yakko, Warner, and Dot for right now. Honestly,
that's what I'm saying. They need new characters. If they don't do new characters and they get rid of Pinky and the Brain, what have they got?
I guess maybe that'll force them to use more of their own original concepts.
I would hope so. And
that was part of the charm of the original show. Like even though there were a lot of regulars, even in the midst of that, they did a lot of their own individual segments.
So I think it's demonstrated. For me, the adjustment period's over. We gotta tighten things up and get experimental with season 3, which I believe has been confirmed. I know we talked it up at the end of the season, but
it has been confirmed.
Well, there we go. We're getting a third season. We gotta spice it up, guys.
If this image is anything to go by.
Well, this image is for season 2, Tiki.
No, it's like this is literally from the intro.
Yeah, but this is the first of 2 new seasons.
2. I'm looking at. Here's the thing: the thumb is blocking the S.
I always read that little bit in the intro.
Oh my God, you're right. See, here's the thing: whenever they sign it,
2 new seasons.
Yeah, I assumed it was season 2. I was all right. There we go. Always read the fine print, kids.
Yeah,
well, there we go. All right. Okay. All that said.
One quick thing, Dragon. That guy has a comment I think you'd like to chime in on. He says he loves the gnome sketch, but for some reason it feels more like a freakazoid joke than Animaniacs. Thoughts, Dragon?
Well, that's why it's great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that guy, but I mean, I think Dragon and I, and maybe Jacob too, I'm not sure. Freakazoid is like the best of the best when it comes to Spielberg animated comedy.
Top of the heap for me of the Amblin shows.
Yeah.
That thing. It feels most like a John P. McCann who was not brought back for this show. It feels like we got like a little bit of that John P. McCann irreverent humor back with the Incredible Gnome. It's such a random, awesome pull.
Uh-huh.
What was great about the original show, that was more than just like mile a minute comedy. It's like it had like history lessons. It had music.
Yeah, sure. Chicken booze in there. Yeah,
melancholy.
Yeah,
and I mean, to this season's credit, like I said, it's like they do flesh out the executive character, and we do get a little bit more scratch and sniff. So that's more than we got in season 1.
The Hamburg Tickler was a highlight episode.
Yes.
All right. That guy says, yeah, I agree. Season 3 needs to be a lot more experimental and creative. For sure. Yeah. Okay, let's go into episode 1.
Back again.
Yeah, so these episodes, they didn't give any of these titles, but I think what they should do, and what we're kind of in the practice of doing, is like, why don't they just call the episode titles what the Againi is?
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
They should do that, so Jacob's going to be doing that for us this evening. All right, so Back Again. So, Rome, Sweet Rome. Katie Rice, I'm going to speak to her so I don't have to do it anywhere else. I'm going to do it up front. So Katie Rice is an interesting thing where I blame the art style on her. I don't know if that's fair, because I know like the redesigns that for the most part they used for almost all the humans that I have not been crazy about. It looks very, very unique to her style, so I've just kind of been blaming her. But I think the Pinky and the Brain episodes have kind of spoken for themselves, and the ones that she's directed have been good to my recollection. So like she brought us Julia Brain, if I recall, so that's I can't fault her for that. But just again, this was an example of the Katie Rice style I wasn't crazy about up front with the Rome, Sweet Rome.
I just feel like this is exactly like a million other Warner sketches that we've seen. it's very, very prototypical Warner Brother, which is like maybe that was the idea to start with something that was very easy, just like, hey, it's the Warners picking on a historical asshole. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't get that much more formulaic than that. So
I think I'm up on a lid and saying hot water with this. I'm gonna be diplomatic.
oh boy.
So the Emperor Nero thing is the fill-in for basically our parody of Trump here. I tell you, because we did this in the first season. I think we brought up Trump a couple of times. And, it's a thing that's on brand for Animaniacs. They brought up Bill Clinton all the time when the show was going on. And of course, Bill Clinton plays the sax. I mean, how can you not? But I got to tell you though, I'm getting a little tired. I'm getting a little tired of it, just in the sense of it's just we did this last season, and it's I feel like we should have picked one. Like, if you wanted this one, I think the parody was clever. It feels like I don't want to lean too much on them. We're doing the Trump parody again. And the less obvious it gets, the not so great it is to me. It's like, can we move on? I don't want to.
I didn't really pick up a lot of Trump, but I was like honestly half paying attention just because the setup was so cliche.
Well, no, it's like literally they stopped in the middle of the song and saying, "What like, wait, are we still talking about Nero and the whole tiny hands and
right,
everything?"
okay,
They were drawing the lines to it, Tiki, but it wasn't as obvious as the Cyclops last season. But that's what I'm saying though. I just hope we don't like keep falling back to this too much. It's like, okay, guys, like let's not just be
low-hanging fruit.
That's what I'm saying.
And honestly, this is where the whole dated reference incoming gag should have gone.
yeah.
Like, you remember, like,
holy crap! At this point, is Trump a dated reference?
Well, I mean,
that's honestly kind of quaint to think about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's just make it dated.
Like, you do remember, like, in the later episodes, they did have like a dated reference incoming.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they should have put that here too.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess. The John Cena joke without John Cena just kind of defeats the point for me. We do like the whole gladiator thing, which I do love. The Conan parody was hysterical. The whole like cease and desist order.
That was funny. That was definitely like the one bright spot where it's like, okay, they're trying. I
love that so much. That was a great gag.
Honestly, would have been funnier is if they went with the whole like you can't see him thing, and like they introduced John Cena and he wasn't there. Honestly, that would have made the joke a whole lot funnier.
I don't mind the celebrities not voicing themselves because that was pretty par for the course for Animaniacs.
Yeah, but this one wasn't even close. And John Cena's doing Peacemaker now. He would have said yes in a heartbeat.
Fair.
That's what bothers me. He loves animation.
All right.
Okay.
But thankfully, the episode turns around really quick because backwards Pinky. Oh my god! I don't know what you guys thought, but I was loving this right from the get.
You know what's crazy?
What?
The one Pinky in the Brain of both seasons, I didn't care for.
Really? Okay.
Really. I honestly, I think
there's a few of them in here that I'm a little more apathetic towards, but this one I really thought worked.
I'm kind of in between you guys on this one.
All right.
Yeah, I just honestly, it's a very simple thing. Again, it was too gross out for my taste. And Pinky the Brain's never really been gross out. Like we had like the disgusting hot dog gag, and like they're going for like I don't mind like the hilarious design of the brain on the back of Pinky. That's one thing.
Here's what really worked for me in this episode, and what really sold me on it was the ticking clock of Maurice LaMarche kind of like slowly getting dumber.
That was great though. That was really
like
funny.
I was hooked on that. I was hooked on LaMarche just like delivering the usual Pinkyism.
I think that saves it for the most part, but still, I'm just saying compared to everything else for me, is like, yeah, none of them really have like something that's making me kind of sick looking at it. Like I don't want to see Pinky in the Brain do that.
Never watched the movie Malignant, Dragon.
I know. I know.
Right,
what do you think of some joke?
That's okay. I really liked it a lot. It's not my favorite of the Pinky and the Brains, but I thought it was a strong start.
Yeah. Pink Lignant.
All right.
All right. Okay. Now loading. This one was a nice and simple one. Just it's kind of a.
Honestly, these ones are my favorite of the Warner Brothers ones. The ones that kind of just poke fun at modern. It just modern inconveniences and stuff like that. We have a really good one about Netflix.
We do. That's one of the highlights of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get there.
But this one was a good start, I thought. And can I just say, as a gamer, like this is exactly why I don't engage with video game companies outside of Nintendo. Nintendo, for the most part, don't do this bullshit. Other game companies do.
Yeah, they do.
With what?
They do a lot of the stuff. Believe it or not, they do a lot of the stuff that this does.
But I mean, specifically the loading and the updates. Like I'm,
Yeah,
I
I
know
never
as a
did.
Nintendo fan, I usually play just the single player stuff. So I know Nintendo Online isn't great, but like,
as a Nintendo fan for a long time too. Yeah, they do this stuff a lot.
that's totally fair. I haven't really encountered it, but
The firstborn clause was pretty funny. Like, oh, we can't have children. We're like mules.
It's like we don't even have a species.
The Warners just being this kind of this enigma to nature and evolution just cracks me
I
up.
do like that. That's kind of like a running thing in this season.
Like, we don't know what the Warners are. We don't really question it.
They don't even know. They don't even know what they are.
Like an unholy mutation of Mickey Mouse. We don't know.
It's like I think like Ruger like once she said like they're Latin like cartoonist characterists or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like Mickey Mouse meets Oswald the Lucky Rabbit meets
Yeah.
Felix the Cat.
Yeah, a little bit. Yes, that's pretty apt actually. Yeah. just give them red noses and you got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And heck, they're originally supposed to be ducks.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. Yeah.
like in the original design phase, they were designed as ducks, and
I'm glad they didn't stick with it. That would have looked all sorts of wrong.
and they had different. Basically, it was like during the whole Plucky phase, kind of.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's go right into episode 2, guys.
Internal reference framey.
Okay, what was that?
Internal reference framey.
Okay.
I think it was like dubbed like writing a math equation on a blackboard or what on a
Right. All right, so please submit. What do you guys think of this one?
I actually thought it was like one of the better Warner shorts this season, honestly.
I think it went on a little long, but I think it was really clever.
I thought it went on a little long, and I also think that honestly, like, I felt like the internet humor was just a touch dated.
It was very on. Tiki, this still happens, man. This is the fact they always want you to sign up for this just to do like a simple task and all that sort of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's like
Bugs
I'll
the crap
encounter
out
that
of
a
me.
lot when I'm like trying to read a fucking article. It's just
The
like no, I don't want
paywall
to
and
subscribe to your. Anyways.
So this is still pretty. I mean, I related to this one very much.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah.
And I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
No.
It's probably gonna get worse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Basically, as I see it, like did what classic Warner Brothers always does, like take this like minor inconvenience and exaggerate it to the nth degree.
Can you imagine a time where we have to pay for each individual YouTube subscription we have?
Well, that'll be the end of YouTube. I can get.
Yep.
Anyways. All right. Okay, let's see. So the flawed couple, is that it? The flawed couple?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one was the basically WandaVision with Pinky and the Brain kind of.
Pretty much.
I know, an
Honestly, because
oversimplification.
WandaVision exists. I didn't really like. I mean, I thought it was fine. I just thought, like, all right, like I've kind of seen the same sort of gimmick on WandaVision. It's funny.
No, well, I mean, look, here's what I'm kidding with the WandaVision, but here's what I really like about it. Though. I love the whole this getting into sort of like this reminds me a lot of the episode of Animaniacs where we do the Orson Welles thing, where the brain is very impossible in a record booth, and just the fact that we had all these failed sitcom pilots, and just the brain kept tanking him because he's so insulted by them being rip-offs of successful sitcoms, essentially, like going from Cheers. When the Cheers one cracked me, was the fact of that's the better.
Was good. Yeah,
that's a lyric from a better song. Fresh Pinky of Burbank.
I'd like some coffee. Good. And Edwin came back, or Egwin came back.
Yeah, he's come back a couple times this season. That was surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from the spinoff, isn't he?
And I was like, he was introduced this season, like season 1, I believe. I think he's an original character.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, I know Larry was in the original show.
Oh yeah, I remember Larry.
Pinky and the Brain and Larry.
God, Larry, do you know? Well, we don't have time to get into the story behind Larry, but it was funny. So,
I know, and Warner Brothers didn't get the hint.
Yep. All right, let's see. Also, the clones thing. How do you feel about the clones thing? The fact that it's possible, at least for the front part of the season, we've been cloning Pinky and the Brain unsuccessfully.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I feel like these Pinky and the Brain segments, they kind of like tune into like a little bit more of a higher concept for the show that I think a spinoff really could explore quite well.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I feel like there's some, and I don't say this in a bad way at all. I feel like there's some Rick and Morty upside to the type of humor that we could be doing with Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, I think they've kind of earned that. They put in the work for that sort of thing a long time ago, and now they're going to be able to go a little further with it if they were to get that spinoff. Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely Pinky and the Brain's time. They could honestly, just given the goodwill built into that brand, they could. I think it might be ambitious to say. I think they could easily top Rick and Morty.
Especially like current Rick and Morty.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think now would be their time to rise and just knock them off the pedestal.
Heck, the original Pinky and the Brain is way better than Rick and Morty.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Just that alone is already gonna get them like on even footing, and then when they come back,
again, current Rick and Morty, season 2 Rick and Morty is god tier.
That's what I'm saying. Like that might be able to get them in the ring, and now with Rick and Morty having gone down, they could easily trump some.
The funny thing is, it's both Warner Brothers, anyways.
I know
that's true.
It's a win-win. There'll be a big. It's a fat pocket.
It's just now it's Adult Swim versus Hulu.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. Everyday safety.
I thought it was fine. I don't know.
Yeah, the pancake thing was. I like the carryover where pancakes are brought up by the clones, and then we have ones all about pancakes. I thought that was funny.
I thought it was just. Everyday safety, because everybody has a molten pancake syrup factory above them on a hill.
Yeah, that's about it. All right, that brings us to number 3.
All right, mutton is gamey.
I love the visual of that one too. We just have like a lamb playing a video game. All right, so this one I'm sure entertained you, Tiki. Rug of War. This is kind of the Storage Wars send up.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like I haven't watched those kind of shows in a long time, but I certainly have my history with them.
Yeah,
and yeah, this is very accurate to the kind of show that Storage Wars is. Absolutely.
I think this one was one of the good ones for the Warner siblings. I just love the whole $5 kind of full circle kind of payoff here. The fact that you get $5, like they want movies, freezy shakes. You want to just rebuke capitalism. I just
think it's funny. It's like. You know what I find charming about it is it's almost kind of like a Phineas and Ferb-esque, like, all right, like, what is the most creative way that we could spend $5?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll buy out a fucking storage unit that no one's bidding on. All right.
I mean, that's kind of, but not really.
Also, the value.
With Phineas and Ferb, Jacob, I'm more referring to just the whole, like, all right, like,
I know.
Like, let's see what a kid can come up with,
Well, it's just kind of funny how in this episode it's basically a cross between that kind of classic Warner stuff and then but also like the educational segments too.
Yeah, the whole value tapestry thing is really well animated, I thought.
Like
it reminded me of the hand drawn animation bits in Mary Poppins Returns a little bit.
Huh. Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah.
How
they jumped into the tapestry.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
One of the best lines. The dog monkeys with it goes to the dog monkeys with the poor man's Ben Franklin.
That was great. Yeah,
such a good line.
Ben Franklin.
The poor man's Ben Franklin. Okay.
All right. So Run Pinky Run. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Out of all the Pinky and the Brain ones, this is probably the one that hit me the least.
What? I really like this one.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that just goes to show that comedy is subjective.
I know. I'm just saying, it's so trippy. I like that. We were on the opposite ends of that one, and now we're here again.
I like this one too. Like,
yeah,
it's like Pinky. You can't go wrong with Pinky messing up time travel.
Maybe I honestly think what my bias is that The Simpsons did a really iconic Run Lola Run parody, and I can't like. It's hard for me to not compare this to that, and I know that's unfair. I totally get it. I don't know. This one's fine for me. I don't know.
I mean, Tiki, what really got it for me, the moment where it really just kind of hit me, like, oh man, this is really good, was the fact that Pinky just keeps trying to set up this lemonade to eventually just various juice stands, the lemonade stand. And it's the fact that the fact that he keeps walking into, like, he needs to come up with a ransom to save the brain, and he comes with all these opportunities, like he could sue somebody, literally they're practically giving away, and then they have this lemonade stand. $100,000 for lemonade. That's awfully steep, but I am thirsty. That cracks me up. But he forgot the cups. Sorry, it's just, and then we do the whole, like, the Groundhog Day effect. And it's just really funny to me. Boy.
It's like, Pinky, how many times did you time travel? At least around two.
So, I mean, honestly, guys, looking at it and then getting into the next one, episode 3 had a really solid lineup to me, because then you have the Hamburg Tickler.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like one of the shorter segments, but I really like it. It was just a delight to hear Scratch and Sniff sing again.
It is. Yeah.
I'm glad that we got him back in a better episode, because we introduced him on Weak Sauce last season.
Which was actually one of the season finales.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the whole, he needs the soda, that whole thing.
And speaking of that, you brought up Phineas and Ferb earlier. This kind of reminds me of the episode. You might not know. Some of you might out there know. They're Kinderlumper. But you'll have to watch this show to understand. But I'm not going to explain it here.
Right.
But it's kind of similar anyway.
Sucks the Hamburg Tickler sucks the lies from the feet.
Yep.
I think it's so cute that Dr. Scratch and Sniff, now that we have him back, he's doing the stuff that we like that he did, like the whole the bedtime symposium and everything.
Scratch and Sniff being back is honestly it's like a warm blanket for the show, every time he pops up, it feels like, there he is.
It's just kind of nice to actually kind of seeing him act as a parental figure to the Warners again.
Yeah.
That's what's great about Scratch and Sniff. He is kind of their dad.
I mean, that's the thing is throughout the entirety of the quote unquote real world segments of the original show, he kind of did act as their parental figure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, I think that brings us to 4.
Okay, episode 4. I'm just looking at the segments, and this is a little bit of a weak episode.
Well, hold on,
Hungry for famey.
Go on, Tiki.
Oh, okay. So we get the Ralph's World, which is really, it's nothing, right? It's just it's, all right, we're doing the Westworld intro, but with Ralph.
Look, I thought, just having seen the first season of Westworld, I thought it was kind of funny, but,
I just like the overly dramatic rendition of the main theme.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of bothers me that we didn't do an interesting introduction for more episodes. We get the last 3 and this one, I think, was when we really start to spice it up. It just feels like, let's go a little bit further now, because that was a really good idea.
Oh, there's one intro they do that's fucking genius towards the end that we'll get to.
You and I might have a different opinion if it's the one I'm thinking of, but we'll get there.
Maybe.
All right, so let's see. So I guess my super sour 16.
Yes.
Yeah, this one we meet Narita's daughter, which I had no idea she had a daughter, which we all learned.
Okay, so I just want to state for the record, I really was on board with Nora for most of the season. I really think they did a good job of kind of highlighting her eccentricities. There's definitely some episodes coming up that I really like of her, but Cora, on the other hand, ironically enough, kind of in the same style of another famous Cora, just kind of a teenage brat.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just kidding. That Cora is way better than this Cora.
Come on.
She starts out on the wrong foot, but she gets better.
Right.
Yeah, this one wasn't really on my high on my list either.
Would you say it's not quite your tempo?
Yes.
Oh, did you guys notice I noticed something that was kind of a problem at points in the season, but it started here.
Okay.
Rob, I think that they were recording this. This is when they started recording episodes during the pandemic, because Rob Paulson's mic is all sorts off when they did this one.
I was kind of noticing that just a little bit. Yeah.
I think they were. I guess I think he has had a bad mic when they started recording stuff during the pandemic. I think that's what must have happened.
You know who I think the MVP is this season is clearly Maurice LaMarche.
Yes. Oh my God, LaMarche. Yeah, I love him.
He's definitely having fun with this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not only Brain, but he also pops up as a lot of celebrities.
Oh, of course, he's great impressions. I mean, you should hear his Peter Falk.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Not that we really get Peter Falk here, but just in general, kids, he's really
no, but yeah, just in general, I know he's spot on with impressions. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. So, like that mixes it up with Naria's daughter, and we do some boy band kind of lampooning with Boy Storm, which is just
Yeah, just the boy band parody, man. I'm sick of it. I don't ever want to see boy band parodies in media ever again.
I just kind of hate boy bands on principle, so that's just where I come from.
Honestly, kind of same. Like the boy band episode of Gravity Falls is one of my least favorites.
I did like taking pot shots at him, the whole 40-year-old thing, like we reveal like boy band's not 16. Like that was like, yes, vindication. All right, so Pinky's How To.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is one that kind of just bleeds into each other. I can't. I'm kind of struggling to remember much of this one.
Well, this one was kind of funny because Brain actually succeeded, but Pinky gave it away. So it was, like it's kind of the Bruce Almighty thing, or Bruce Almighty gave everyone the winning lottery numbers, but when that happens, you only get $6 back.
Right.
It's like, Pinky, are you recording this? Like, no, Brian, it's live.
I'm live streaming it.
And then that's basically his plan failed. His plan succeeded, but it also failed.
Yes. I think it's kind of a nice kind of like call out. Like if we're going to modernize the Animaniacs, I think Pinky and the Brain so far has been most successful at kind of the technological commentary. Like, yeah, we're streaming everything now, and there's a downside when you stream things. Not that again we saw earlier with the whole like the paywall sort of thing with the Warner Brothers. So we've gotten a little bit here and there. Overall, it's been pretty good. But Pinky and the Brain is like chef's kiss with it. Yeah.
Right.
If only Brain would have taken interest, he probably could have prevented the whole thing.
Yeah, and that brings us to episode 5.
And just 1 second, and that's polyurethane.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. The first 2 segments in this section are kind of bleeding together for me a little bit. I don't remember much of them. The third one I will certainly have things to say about. So you guys talk through the first 2, and then I'll come on for the third.
The Warners Are Present is actually kind of an interesting one where they explore an art museum.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get a kick out of this one, Tiki. This was the Shia LaBeouf parody. They're mocking. Remember when Shia LaBeouf a few years back he did that stupid art exhibit thing where he's sitting in front of people, he got a bag on his head. They kind of they lampooned that here with like the experiential kind of.
Okay,
thing.
you know what's funny, Dragon, is that I totally I wasn't thinking of Shia when I was watching it, but I'm sure if I went back and watched it again with that in mind, I'd find it a lot funnier.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing they're doing here.
So yeah, okay. Like in retrospect, that does sound pretty funny.
The beginning, it's like, I don't get it. And then there's even a painting that says, I don't get it. And then they come across Daffy, and it's like, now that is art. Finally, someone appreciates my physique.
So basically, the Warners kind of break her whole thing with a bunch of dumb questions. Which why was the Donner? Why was it a Donner party when they weren't celebrating anything?
It kind of reminds me of the Wally Llama episode.
Yeah, it's a little bit like it's a good pull. Yeah,
like I said, there's only one stupid question instead of like a multiple of them.
There were some clever art jokes at the very end in the diner because honestly, one of my favorite paintings next to Starry Night is it's the diner. So I love that we kind of homage the diner where they're all hanging out there, and Frida Kahlo's husband was really pushy and.
It's like you're not art. You're just meth guts for soulless corporations.
Thanks, Frida Kahlo's husband. But anyway,
we're something even more annoying. Banksy.
Art humor. Okay, that brings us to the Pinkinator or the Pinktator. Sorry, the Pinktator. I keep thinking Pinkinator when I see that, but it's not. So this one was a really fun one. I love.
Basically, it's a cross between the Dictator and the Dinner for Schmucks.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's the whole. It's like much like Dinner for Schmucks.
Okay, once you said Dinner for Schmucks, I know exactly what this is. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's also kind of like it's based off the old prom date thing where it's like you bring like the unpopular person to win the contest.
And I feel like this is here's the thing with Pinky and the Brain is that I feel like it's one of the rare examples of an animated show nowadays that has a very, very distinct formula with very distinct tropes. It's like every episode we're going to have an Are You Pondering What I'm Pondering? Mm-hmm. Every episode is going to end with some variation of
take over the world.
Yeah. And with this, it's like we've seen the whole like Pinky being the idiot savant and looking smarter than Brain done a million times. But I don't know, man. This is one of the most effective ways that we've seen it.
Also, Pinky and the Brain knows how to do political humor really well.
They do. They do. I
we-
think political humor on this show, like, I think it comes a lot more naturally from Pinky and the Brain than from the Warners.
Because again,
frankly,
it makes
the
sense.
Warners are kids. They shouldn't concern themselves with politics. You know what I mean? It's not in their character.
But just putting the Brain,
whereas the Brain lives and breathes politics. That's what he's all about. You know.
Yeah, and it's just so, and this again, the fact this is so gutsy, like getting you making light of these three dictators in this room like that, but it's hysterical. It's just them, just when the Brain like roasts them at the end, like this whole let's see, Kim Jong Un with a $5 haircut, and and like, hey, here's a 10 million bolivar or something. Buy a stick of gum.
And and of course, the one time that Pinky actually follows his instructions.
Like, no one's ever gonna make a Nicolas Maduro gag. That's really funny.
Yes.
And they just keep taking pot shots at him all throughout the season. It cracks me up. What do the dictators do when they get ticked off? They have a food fight. I mean, this is wonderfully harmless, and I dig it.
It's kind of and their guests, like including a guy who pretends to be a robot, a Korean ghost.
Yep. Oh God.
Which is kind of similar to
And
some
tell
Japanese.
me the bald guy wasn't a Bob Iger parody, or not Iger? I'm sorry, Chapek.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was more Jeff Bezos, Tiki, but
oh, it could be Bezos. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'm much more tuned into the evil that is that is Bob Chapek, but yeah.
I think you're thinking of a later sketch, Tiki.
Well, there's no evil, but okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I'm saying Bob Chapek and Jeff Bezos, they're both kind of super villains in my eyes.
Well, they're bald rich guys, and of course, when we think bald rich guys, we're thinking Lex Luthor. So there's.
Yeah, I'm saying Chapek has done like more damage in like a year than Michael Eisner did in his entire tenure. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I can hear the flies buzzing around Chapek. Let's move on.
All right.
All right. So, Tiki, take the lead. Know your scroll.
Yes. So this is something that I can relate to so much, man. I don't know. I just think that Netflix, like, first of all, we have too many streaming services. That's one thing. Like, I would do anything for Disney Plus and Hulu to just become one entity. Like, just give us Disney Plus Black or whatever the fuck and let it just call it a day. But Disney Plus Black, I don't know where that came from. That's a weird...
Are you aware of the Boys marketing campaign right now with the whole, like, as they're building the season 3?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, they look it up on YouTube. They have all these videos that are kind of building it up, but also they've been taking the pot shots at Vought essentially being Disney. So they have like Vought Plus and they have like Vought World and Vought Land.
Okay, that's funny.
It's really funny. So they've been doing that today for the whole Disney Plus day. They had like Vought Day.
All right, but point being, I think streaming services, like, they are, like, it's becoming just as inconvenient as cable was. It really is. It's like, so I really think that this was a great way to just kind of like put it down a peg.
Yeah, they had Netflix's number just so nailed here. Just the whole like Peep, like the Bo Peep thing, where it's like just it's just. Okay, so not everything's top notch on Netflix.
I would say it would have made like something like where we have a bunch of originals, but only 2% of them are actually good.
Yeah, that's dates on a plane, like they got the reality dating shows, and then
and reality dating shows, man. It's like I watch YouTube videos about them, but I don't actually like dip my toe into watching them myself. But they are definitely a rabbit hole.
And then the weird, like kind of the foreign entity ones with the Too Much, which essentially had time traveling incest in it, technically, which is trippy.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's
kind of funny because it's on the heels of an actual successful Korean drama from Netflix.
I know. Yeah. It's kind of wacky how that one timed out because they have to make these things in advance.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
I still get to actually watch that, but
It's okay. I think it's a little overhyped
I'm
myself.
not sold on it quite myself. I hear everyone talking about. You know what? I'm just looking at it.
It just seems like a battle royale, kind of like a battle royale thing that's been done in different ways. I mean, as long as it
In
offers a different.
some ways, it's more entertaining than Battle Royale. In other ways, it's a lot worse than Battle Royale.
I mean, as long as it offers like a different experience, it should be fine for me.
It's definitely a different experience. I'm just, oh man, I don't know. So
I don't know, Brian. Are there any squids in this game?
it's a roller coaster of a show, man, and I don't really mean that in a good way.
So again, the anime is just kind of calling out, and it's like, you know, they're way too meta. It's kind of funny.
Right.
Right. So,
although they could have also done a cancellation gag too.
Oh yeah, they could have.
and the relatable comedy, of course.
Hey, where's that show we like? Oh, it's not there anymore. Curse you, Npix.
Yeah.
All right, episode 6.
Making gainies.
Okay, Yakko's big idea. So yeah, this one's kind of a lampooning of the Shark Tank kind of pitch session here, which kind of leads. Yeah. Honestly, this was a good song. I thought this was one of the winners of the season. Yakko making the space tourism song.
Yeah, at least he didn't try singing Yakko's World again.
I know, pretty much. I mean, that's why I really like Yakko's World. So that's
okay, but again, I love that the Yakko's World thing is become so consistent that it's almost like he's almost like an addict for it, right? It's like he feels compelled to do it.
It's kind of funny that even the original series and even the original Pinky and the Brain kind of made fun of it, but kind of made fun of how prevalent it was. Because I remember one episode of Pinky and the Brain where it's like, hey, what can you do, Pinky? I know the lyrics to Yakko's World, and be like, no.
yeah. So basically, after this wonderful, kind of lavish musical
Yakko's
number,
World is basically the Animaniacs Stairway to Heaven.
Pretty much. So we learn there's no way to deliver on this business pitch, which then leaves a number of kind of the fire pit trapdoors kind of opening up for all the bad pitches. My favorite of the bad pitches being Door of the Month Club.
Door of the Month Club.
A whole new door delivered to your door.
Love it.
I love how they're entirely sold on his planetary vacation idea. So it's like, yeah, I just made it. Yeah, but I made that planet up.
Yeah.
I mean, his planet does sound awesome, though.
It does. Oh, unequivocally.
If you could actually make that planet, that would be amazing. That should be the pitch. Make your own planet.
Yeah, like Kramer on Seinfeld. Make your own pizza. Make your own planet. Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome.
All right, so Mouse Congeniality.
This was one of the big highlights of Pinky and the Brain for me personally.
This one was pretty funny.
I just the whole idea that this pageant is going on in the same building as the World Leader Summit, and it's so fucking silly. It honestly kind of has a rescuer's logic to me a little bit.
And also it's how they was the beginning adventure that they had. I want to see the adventure they had before this whole plot began.
It's essentially, it sounds like they went on an endgame adventure at the
top.
Right. There was time travel and emotional romance. There was a whole.
I want to see that adventure.
Cut the red wire, Pinky. That whole thing. God.
That's the adventure I kind of want to see.
I know, me too. But yeah, but again, the fact that this is okay, so we've done all that, so do this plan.
It's like, I finally fulfilled my dream of being the most beautiful human woman in the world.
Also, can I just say, I am absolutely not criticizing it at all, but I don't really know how to label it, but they are definitely they are going all in on the Pinky is queer thing.
I mean, I think didn't they kind of make that clear last season though?
I mean, I guess so, but it's every episode I feel like they kind of lean into it, which I think is cool because I think it
which now they can do
his character, and I like that you can't quite define exactly what he is, and it doesn't really matter, but there is definitely some queer coding there.
I mean, sometimes he falls for horses and monsters, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Right,
but,
right, yeah.
I mean, the fact is that we don't Pinky nailed down anything in particular. I think, anything. The fact that Pinky's got his.
I think it's just to whatever suits the story.
Exactly, whatever suits the. It's open to interpretation, though, and for sure. I mean, I think there's a lot, kind of brings people to that for sure. Yeah. So let's see. Again, Pinky wins thanks to this little spritz after the whole spray walk through it.
That's like
I love how cocky Brain got when he basically infiltrated Chump Tower for the whole basically so he can disperse this nerve agent and destroy the World Summit.
It's just kind of interesting that Brain of all people is the one who messed his own plan up here.
Oh, one of the funniest things we got to talk about from the episode, though, the "you and me both, pal" guy.
Like, oh yeah, oh god, that was great.
It's like I cut off a witch in traffic.
See, this was a Freakazoid joke, and I loved it.
Totally.
I cut off a witch in traffic. We hear like we do like a 1,000-yard stare with the guy, and we hear like, "You and me both, pal."
And then it's like the winner is Pinky. You and me both, pal.
Also is the fact that just love the fact that the dictators in these world summits, there's these powerful people that are going to do the F, Marry, Kill game with the Hollywood Christmas.
Yes. Oh my god, that's great.
Oh god. Anywho, let's see.
It really does kind of like remind me of when Family Guy used to be good, and they'd have like the jokes about like Michael Eisner and Bill Gates.
Yeah, and they had the poker game going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so then we have this is the closest thing we got to a third, kind of a third original sketch. We have the rejected Animaniacs characters.
I got really excited when I saw this, but I got to be honest, maybe it's just because of the way I watched it. None of them really stuck out to me all that
well,
much.
Not Tiki, Aqua Claus.
What?
Tiki, Aqua Claus.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a strong reaction to that.
It was like the best of the bunch. I mean, even they were admitting it. Like, oh man, it looked pretty cool.
All right.
Except for the Synchrovox.
Sure.
Yeah. Even it's like we need to know how Aqua Claus ends.
So it's like this Aqua Claus versus like Aqua Ebenezer Scrooge. I don't know. All right. Okay, so that brings us.
I mean, that's a Freakazoid segment.
It's like season 1 Freakazoid, but yeah.
It's almost like a Johnny Danger kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. All right, so that brings us to 7.
Are you not yet entertained?
That was honestly maybe my favorite of the season.
It was a funny one.
All right, so we have Yakko and a Mako, which is a send-up to Duck Amok.
Yeah, and Rabbit Rampage.
Yes.
But no,
everybody forgets about Rabbit Rampage.
Yeah, me too. I forgot about it myself.
It's like, hey, Looney Tunes famously did this sketch about 100 years ago.
Yeah. They literally point out that it's unoriginal.
But again,
I like that word.
I actually did the math. It's actually 68 years ago.
That sounds about right. I mean, I could have said 70. It was 68. 68, yeah, that sounds absolutely right.
But you know what I like about this is that it is a good update because, of course, like with the Duck Amuck and stuff like that, it was the paintbrush. And here it's like, it kind of shows like, the computer monitor is like the new animator's toolkit. I like that kind of update on it. It felt like a nice sort of current day spin on a classic.
Yeah, it's what they want to hit with the reboot for sure.
I think my favorite joke in this particular segment was like when they duplicated Yak. It was like, hey, I finally do our dream of being the Yak Street Boys. and then it's like, I call Ricky Carter. Who am I? Johnny D.
And also, like, just the other tools of the trailer, the voice swapping and everything. Like, oh, Ralph never stood a chance with this voice as he's trying to sing the song. Also, the Pepe Le Pew gag was very well earned.
Okay, can I say something about Pepe Le Pew? I have a personal Pepe Le Pew story. All right.
Were you skunked as a child?
Oh my god. Okay, so I was at Discovery Kingdom on Sunday, and honestly, it was a great day. But they had a Veterans Day ceremony, and they brought out, because Six Flags, they own the rights to all the Looney Tune characters. They bring out a Looney Tune to commemorate Veterans Day, and who the fuck do they bring out but Pepe Le Pew?
They brought out the French Looney Tune.
I'm like, okay, that is an interesting choice.
Yeah, that is a really interesting choice.
Right?
He's a lover, not a fighter.
I'm just like, honestly, I really regret, like, you know, like I was kind of just like, nah, I want to just go to the coasters and I don't want to embarrass myself. But like, if I really regret not getting a selfie with him. I really regret not doing that.
Why would they not go with Porky Pig? That's what I don't get.
I don't think they have a Porky Pig costume.
Wait,
I don't
really?
think I've seen one.
It's crazy. How do they not have a Porky Pig costume?
I know they have a Bugs. I know they have a Daffy.
Well, yeah, that's the easy ones.
Yeah, Daffy would have made a lot of sense, actually.
Daffy actually would have made sense. Anyways, sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry. All right,
yeah.
getting back on topic here, but yes, the fact that Pepe Le Pew is even for me, this is I think we're moving too fast, and then of course, then when he gets erased, like, no, don't erase me, it's so cold.
Oh my god.
Oh, like and when they erased Yakko's mouth, or everything but Yakko's mouth.
No, haha, Alice in Wonderland. Chester Cat.
Like, get me back before he gets sued. And then they
now I want to point something out about that gag. Alice in Wonderland is very famously in the public domain. So do you think the getting sued thing was kind of like a cheeky, like, okay, no one can get sued for using
I'm
Alice
pretty
in
sure.
Wonderland
I
stuff?
think that might be right.
Uh-huh. I appreciated that gag. I'm like, you know, it was kind of like a gag within a gag.
It's like,
all right, anyways.
And then when they redrew him, they redrew him in his original 1990s form. Like, I thought we were past this.
God.
One of my favorite versions of the whole, like, do you want to get sued thing is the classic gag on The Simpsons, like the shinning. You mean the shining? Shh! Do you want to get sued?
So the animator we reveal is a fangirl who's been doing all this. So we have, if you notice in her office, some Batman the Animated Series posters.
I did notice.
Yeah, I know that Two-Face design anywhere.
And some other Looney Tunes posters too. I think it's supposed to be like a General Warner Brothers office.
Right. Yep. Also, the Ringo gag. That was a long time coming. They finally did the Ringo gag.
Yes.
That was great.
The different voice gag was probably one of the best ones.
I would agree. All right, so let's see.
Also, I don't know if we passed over it, like, because I, for the life of me, can't remember what sketch it was in, but we referenced Wacko's World or Wacko's Wish at one point.
No, not. Oh, yeah, it was. Okay, you're right, Tig. We did go over it. It was it was during the Sour 16, the Super Sour 16 one where they were
giving like the demands to Rita for doing the boy band thing.
Yeah, they want the leak fixed, but beyond getting the leak in the water tower, just I love the gag. There's a leak in the water tower. Getting the leak fixed in the water tower, they had all the outrageous demands, and Wacko wanted a copy of Wacko's Wish,
the classic animated film Wacko's Wish,
which thankfully comes along when you buy the full set of the original Animaniacs.
It's been forever since I've seen Wacko's Wish, but I remember it being like super melodramatic.
Oh, it is for sure. I rewatched it when I watched through all the ones on the DVD. Yeah, it's at the very end. It's the finale.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to Happy Narf Day. Like in this way, I feel like Pinky and the Brain starts to go on air after this.
We skipped the.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did.
The longest word.
Honestly, can we just kind of like yada yada through both this and the ending Animaniacs song, because I feel like the meat of the episode is Happy Narf Day.
Well, this one's not really a song; it's just more of a Big Bang Theory swipe. It's like we have Dot as kind of like a nun teacher here, and we basically it's like kind of a PSA to appreciate the teachers, or else they're gonna be doing the substitute thing, where they're gonna put on a video. In this case, the Big Bang Theory in Spanish. All right, so that brings us to Happy Narf Day.
Yeah, so this is so what I love so much about this, it kind of reminded me of the oh god, I forget the name of the episode, but the pie episode from SpongeBob.
Oh, you mean Dying for Pie?
Yeah, Dying for Pie, exactly. Because what I love about it is that it's like Maurice LaMarche. Here's the thing about Maurice LaMarche is the brain this season. He has such a great balance of he is more hammy and take over the role than he's ever been before, but also there is such an empathy for Pinky. And it's like, like it's like as much as Pinky annoys him, you can tell even at the even at the darkest moments, like he's still, he'd still do anything for Pinky. And so with this episode, it absolutely proves that. It's just like that great sort of like, you can tell it's like it's killing him because he's so close, but it's like, no, Pinky said not to take over the world, so I got, it's like he's honoring that one thing on Pinky's birthday, and I don't know, I find that just super charming.
It's like, I love how domesticated he is in that too.
Yeah.
He can't stand Pinky, but he also can't live without him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the fact that they made that agreement. Okay, this one day.
And like even Pinky himself got a bit of pathos at the end. It's like, Brian, my birthday was a month ago.
And they're referencing the Christmas. There are a little bit of the Christmas episode feels on that one. They're doing the whole like, Pinky's, thing to Santa Claus about, like the brain, brain getting all his gifts, which is world domination. In this case, it's the whole like, just the fact that brain just, oh man, I'm such a bad friend. I missed his birthday weeks ago.
It's like I figured out my zero theory, Pinky. I'm a zero at being a friend.
And just
Pinky right there, Jacob. Right there. That's a great line that just absolutely just like exemplifies what I love about the brain this season.
I mean, it's a little corny, but it definitely works at the pathos.
But the bit right after that, doesn't it just get you in the feels? The whole like, what's the last thing on your list? To take over the world. I mean, just hearing Pinky say that for a change. That's beautiful. All right,
so then it's like, what do you want to do? Let's do tomorrow night, Pinky. What do you want to do tomorrow night? He's like you literally just said, never mind.
He's got to say the words.
Yes.
All right, so then we have a Magna Carta, which, it's the standard edutainment kind of Animaniacs song, only in this case on the Magna Carta, which is basically like the origins of law for, long and short of it. It was nice.
I think it's one of the less memorable songs of the season.
Well, to be fair, there are a lot of songs, Tiki. I mean, when you've heard the originals, it's kind of hard to top them. It's like, well, it's yet another it's a different historical topic. But, it's what are you going to do? All right.
So up next, man, episode 8. Like I said, I think this episode just rises above all of them. I am a
this
big
horse is
fan of
maney.
this episode.
Yeah.
This horse is maney.
What?
This horse is maney. That's the gag in the credits in the opening.
Oh yeah.
All right, a whack of her twist though, Tiki. Why do you like it?
I don't know, man. It just really it really feels like classic Animaniacs. I mean, first of all, I love the brain being the orphanage owner, and then and then I love the payoff of that. The whole like, oh man, we really should have been following that story. And then the whole thing just feels so so vintage Animaniacs, in the fact that they're taking a classic story, they're doing their thing with it. I don't even really have a ton of comments on it. I just think it's just a perfectly executed episode, I think.
And I
love that it's like the part 1, part 2, and then the Pinky and the Brain sketch in the middle. I really thought that format worked super well.
I really like it. It's kind of interesting. It's actually one of the few times in this particular revival that Pinky and the Brain and the Warners actually share a segment in it.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe that alone just gives the episode some clout, I think.
And Pinky
just the fact that Pinky and the Brain do have such a memorable crossover, not only at the ending, or not only at the beginning, but with the punchline at the end.
So two things with that punchline at the end.
I love the thing with Pinky for me. It's like, and finally my accent won't sound out of place.
Yeah,
that was great.
So I love Dr. Scratch Sniff Fagin Sniff in this case. His undoing.
Yes, perfect casting. Yeah.
His undoing was the fact that he loves procedural dramas. That's why he was in the courtroom when they point him out. And also, here's something rare to call out this season. We had the return of Thaddeus Plotz, the former CEO, as the judge.
Yeah, when I first saw him as the judge, it's like, wait, is that Plotz?
Yeah, you'll Plotz when you see Plotz. Yeah,
Plotz.
It was great to see him again, besides the painting on Narita's wall.
Yeah. And also, of course, the steampunk elephant did not hurt that scene either. It was great.
He's like, man, we should have really followed that instead of our heavy-handed hand at workers' rights.
Speaking of heavy-handed, what was it? Plight of the Hand or Plight of Hand?
Yep, Plight of Hand.
Yes, Plight of Hand.
For some reason, I really enjoyed this episode. For some reason, it's like almost maybe not the top episode of Pinky this season, but I think it's definitely like one of the highlights of Pinky for me.
To me, it kind of reminds me of Upgrade. I think it's like Pinky and the Brain stab at Upgrade when you have like sentient,
totally.
sentient hands.
I think my favorite, but one of my favorite gags and jokes, but also it's also kind of terrifying. It's like, oh my, like you know what I'm seeing from Silence of the Lambs? It's like, yeah, except you didn't need to steal their faces. My hands did that for fun.
That cracked me up.
I mean, this is another. I mean, like I said with Pinky and the Brain, it's like we have like at least like 3 or 4 sketches where it's like Pinky just inadvertently, just rising way above the ranks of the Brain. Just kind of being the Todd Chavez of the of the group. Just kind of like bumfuck lucking his way into these high positions of power.
Yep, and with his own hands.
Like his hands are smarter than the brain.
Yep, I loved. Well, here's the thing. I don't even know if it's necessarily smart. It's more they're ruthless, and that they took out all those people. They did all that stuff. I mean, if the episode were bloody, he would have killed all those people with those hands. But we don't see him get back up.
Well, as I mentioned earlier with the gag that I liked, it's heavily implied that they straight up murdered a bunch of people.
By the way, with that gag, with the Silence of the Lambs gag, it's for me the best. It's my favorite scene from Silence of the Lambs, so I love calling reference to it.
It's like, my hands did it for fun.
It's just great.
I mean, it's straight up terrifying almost, but you can't just help but like crack up at it.
All right.
Okay, Pinky, like you can tell, like Pinky's almost horrified by what he's done.
Yep. All right. That brings us to 9.
All right.
9 is definitely not Bruce Wayne.
Okay, this one.
Okay, that was great.
Okay, real quick. So it's the fact that we're doing the bomb run from.
Yes.
And it explodes.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite A&E of this season.
Yeah, I agree. That's my favorite too. Oh, okay. So the opening. Okay, Tiki, I don't know if you noticed this. Okay, so the what is it called? What is that? That was what the segment was called.
Yeah.
This was a weird one.
Yeah, so I really like this one where the narrator, it's Ralph Garman. Ralph Garman's the narrator on this, with all the the sentient text. It's like when he's running away, just like the eyes are running away.
Did John Bailey also do some voice work here?
Well, John Bailey's in the season. I can't remember if he's in this episode or not.
Yeah, I know he does some trailer work.
Yeah,
this sketch.
I mean, like when we had the. I don't remember quite where it is, but I heard him pop up a couple times.
Yeah, Bailey was definitely he did something outside of trailer work as well, but he was in here somewhere.
This sketch is only supposed to be 15 seconds long.
So, of course, Ralph Garman, his signature is getting angry. It's what he does best. So it's the fact that he to be the infuriated narrators crack me up. It's been a while since I've heard Garman, since they've been trying to get the podcast back up.
Could you imagine if they did like an angry Jolie? Like if they got him to be angry.
God.
That'd be great.
Okay, let's see. Mouse Madness?
Well, this is actually another really good Pinky and the Brain episode, if you ask me.
Yeah, the stakes are pretty high on this one. Just the fact that the Brain kept messing with time until he destabilized everything. And honestly, just the bet on a sports game, which cracks me up. He broke the cardinal rule of Back to the Future 2.
Yes.
He tried to bet on a sporting game. And then we have like this, everything is getting topsy-turvy and switched around. And of course, one of the great things, Smart Pinky was hysterical.
Oh my God! Yeah, it's like he finally ponders what Brain ponders. I felt like that was a big moment.
It's like your attempts to mess with the time-space continuum seems to be tearing it apart.
And then we had a peek at Emperor Brain for a moment. Everything was coming up Millhouse.
Yes.
And it was the evil lair too.
Yep,
and then Pinky turned out to be Cthulhu.
Yep, a kind of a Cthulhu emperor, if you will. He sort of pulled the strings, literally.
You can continue to be my puppet, Brain.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think this really leaned into the time travel. Like, I don't know, I like the time travel in this a lot more than I liked it in the Run Lola Run episode. I know that's more of a time loop, but still. It really reminded me of the classic Treehouse of Horror, where Homer's got the toaster and he's like going back in time and
I'm the first
and causing all these things to happen.
I'm the first
Especially because of the classic gag where he's he sees that the idyllic version of the family and Marge dear, would you pass me a donut? What's a donut?
And then it's raining donuts outside.
So
It's raining again.
it's really funny too. I love how at the end, though, for a moment, I think for one of the few times the brains he almost like went to do a pottery class with Pinky. He's just like, what do you want to do, Pinky? You want to do that pottery class?
that are therapists.
That's what I'm saying, Dragon. Like moments like that are all throughout the damn season. And like they totally just domesticate the brain so much, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then Pinky may still have a bit of the elder god inside him.
Yep, a little bit. All right, so then we have a really good Warner's short.
I honestly, this was a person that needed to be taken down.
Yes, and I'm so glad. That's what I'm saying. I think they took full advantage of what you should do with the reboot. Just give them what Animaniacs has built the brand on.
I would wager to say this might be the best Warner sketch.
It might be, T. I mean, we'll see if there's any that really kind of jump out.
I mean, it's classic Animaniacs. It's like it's honestly source material that I'm surprised didn't get covered in the original, because it just like Christopher Columbus just feels like he fits the mold of the kind of person that the Animaniacs would fuck with.
But that's the thing, though. If they covered the original, they would not have been as scathing as they are here.
I guess that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But imagine how trippy that would have been, though, if they went back and they set the record straight. So Christopher Columbus just taking full advantage of what you should do with the reboot of let's set the record straight on Columbus. As much as I know we get the day off for him, but kids, again, the 90s kids did not know the horrors of Christopher Columbus. But now we know, we should tell the kids. Also, the pun counter was really funny.
Yeah, that was to me, that was like the only funny part of the episode.
Really? You didn't care for this one?
Honestly, not really.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand the whole Christopher Columbus thing. I mean, even though I think it's another kind of low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But at least he's long dead.
That's the thing, though. Yeah, Columbus. Yeah, it's the damage is done. We're just trying to oh no, kids, no, he's not just the guy with the ships with the names. No.
Like I said, I understand what this is going for. I just I've heard enough of this already. It's like I did like the pun counter though in the episode. The song was fine.
Yeah. Okay. Zordaflex. Zoduraflex. The drug.
The fake medicines.
Yeah, the whole side effects comedy of
you have to take it every 15 minutes to remind you to take it every 15 minutes.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm so paranoid by the drug companies. This one was funny.
Oh, it should be.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You can never all the side effects.
Well, not only do you have to fear big pharma, now you have to fear small pharma too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that brings us to 10.
Hold on, just a second. Cell membrane.
Okay, so this is where T, I think, is the one you were talking about earlier, wasn't it? The opening.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is the called continue watching thing.
You
have to perform. In order to avoid binge watching, you have to perform rigorous exercise to continue.
Okay, so what I love about this is, first of all, it cuts out at a really abrupt part of the theme song. Does this whole extended joke about the lifespan of a fly, and then cuts right back to that abrupt ass spot in the theme song.
I mean, that's great. I think killing the Mayfly was a little dark, though.
It might be the darkest joke of the whole season. It very well might be, but I still thought it was really funny.
I mean, that's a thing. I don't know if I objectively.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't have time. I wasn't born yesterday. I was born today.
Her life, so dark. Her life touched so many people.
God.
I just like how it goes from it very, very rapidly progresses from oh, okay, I could try this, but I want to get out of here soon, to I've got to get out of here, to I've wasted my whole life.
It's like, yeah, it's like, the gym can't feel like a home away from home.
I don't know, man. It is dark for sure. I'm not going to deny that it's very dark, but I thought it worked.
It's like, what the hell, Spielberg?
All right, so then we have Brain Falls, which I think should have been the last of the Pinky and the Brain shorts this season. This was good finale material, I thought. This is where we have the return of Julia, the Brain's nemesis, his arch nemesis.
I got to
and also
the return of her. I didn't really think it was as memorable as her first episode.
Like his nemesis and also ex-wife.
Yes, also voiced by the Korra alumni. She is voiced by the wonderful comic Maria Bamford.
Huh.
Penna, Tenzin's wife from Korra, Tiki.
Dragon, you've referenced her before, and I'm like, that is literally the least interesting character in Korra.
So she was also on Earth to Ned. She's popped up. She's blood connected.
I'm just like, you could not have picked a less interesting character from Korra.
I'm sorry. I thought maybe the times I mentioned it, you would have checked out the stand-up, but no, never mind me.
All right. Okay. Anyways.
Okay, so let's see. Basically, we've infiltrated a middle school science and art class to essentially build a rocket to go to space. And I love the structure on this one, though, where the Brain just wakes up in space and we have no idea how he got there and everything. We're kind of hearing the story as it unfolds.
And I think it's kind of like interesting, kind of how it's foreshadowed throughout the episode that the Pinky that he's with is not actually Pinky.
And I love the performance. What Rob Paulson does in the performance of Julia Pinky is really great because you kind of see their Pinky's going off the rails more than usual, and just it's really fun.
And he's like using like doors. I mean, Zort.
Yeah.
And I love, if you think about it, that's how the Brain knows. That's like the first clue. You can kind of see him put it together in the episode. Like, wait a minute. And then we have that great trippy reveal. Like, man, Julia thought of everything. They're on strings. It's the whole, it's the whole thing. It's great. Yeah, does it make a lot of sense? No, but it's cool.
I mean, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's talking to lab mice trying to take over the world. I'll take it.
You don't really have to follow exactly. As you just said, two mice trying to take over the world. They're not going to notice like silly puppet strings like that.
The most interesting interpretation of Walken's two mice fell in a bucket of cream. It's the best. That one's kind of going with flies there. Anyway, Charlton Heston nod, I thought was kind of funny too. Like, if the pride from my cold dead paws. All right, let's see. Then we have the the targeted ads gag.
This was kind of okay.
Yeah, I thought it was just okay too.
This is them kind of trying to do new material, I guess.
Yeah,
like tuna fresh gum, and the DMV fantasy camp. I thought was the winner of the bunch.
The DMV fantasy, that honestly could have been its own sketch. Honestly,
it could. It was way funnier. It was way funnier than the tarantula whistle.
It was way funnier than anything else in the sketch. Yeah. They could have just made that a standalone sketch.
It's like, sure. Do you have a fantasy of being at the DMV? Well, we have the camp for you.
Oh my god. Right. What I love about that is that it just kind of like, I feel like it's a great parody of just like, just like the workforce culture as an adult. It's like, yeah, you gotta do this bullshit because it's what being an adult is. And then it's like, no, you get to take pictures, man. You get to boss people around. It's awesome.
Yeah, you get to send them to the other line.
It's like, sorry, sir, you're supposed to go to receiving. And it's like, but I just came from receiving.
Oh my god. Oh, so good. So
all right, so then lastly on this one we had Starbucks and Cindy, which again, I think this sketch is a fun concept. I don't think we've quite hit the winning sketch on it yet, but I think it's a fun concept.
I'm not sure how I feel about the way that they record her dialogue.
I like that though. Here's the thing: I think the problem here is that it went on for way too long. Versus, I think they had it well edited in the first minute. It feels I could be wrong here. I assume what they do is they just record random kid dialogue and then they animate to it, which I think is a really interesting idea.
That's pretty much exactly what they do. Like Katie Rice, they're actually like her niece. That's actually her niece.
Oh, there you go.
And I like that they basically record like basically. From what I understand, like they give her basically something to talk about, and then she does listen to her record her ramble.
Yeah, I mean I think it's a really interesting idea.
And honestly, this might be my taste being different than yours, but I actually prefer Starbucks and Cindy over the Incredible Gnome in People's Mouths.
Yeah, we are on very
Yeah,
different
I can't sign off on that either.
No, look, this is cute, man. I would see more of it. I'm just saying. I love the conceit that the invasion is waiting on him to push a button.
Right.
I do really like that. I wasn't crazy about the toilet humor this time around, but it's what it is.
I mean, I thought it was pretty mild.
That's what I'm saying. It is mild. I'm just saying it doesn't make it any kind of less gross for me. But it wasn't. I've seen a lot worse. It's fine. Believe me. Compared to, yeah.
I mean, I just because as I probably mentioned in the comments last time, I wasn't really a big fan of the gnome in the last season. But I mean, it is better here. But it's just more kind of. It's definitely funny. I'll give it that, and I love the concept. But they just need to do more with it to win me over.
Right. And that brings us to 11.
Barrage Arcane.
All right, so a brief. Okay, this is the other winning song of the.
I this would be my pick for the best song. I think this is really inspired. First of all, I just love the setup of it. Just it's a really, really great idea. The fact that, of course, aliens would come to Yakko to sum up everything about everything,
which makes sense. I love what Yakko needs. He needs, all right, I'm going to need a 92-piece orchestra and lukewarm green tea. With
I'm sorry. We have to go back to the Oliver Twist episode really quick because I love that they use the nations of the world song, or not the nations of the world to distract the townspeople while they do the pickpocketing.
And I was like. Apparently historically accurate to the time period.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh, so good.
What was it, like the 13 colonies, or was it like what was it shrunk down to be?
They didn't. I don't think they mentioned the colonies. They just mentioned like the state of Russia, something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess it literally was just the smaller version of the nations thing. Yeah. All right. So I thought this was impressive. Like I think it covers the basics rather nicely, and also the art style was really pleasant.
It is kind of interesting how I really do love the concept here. And as you point out, aliens come into like, we hear that you're very good at condensing things into short songs.
Yes. And doesn't that kind of offend you if the aliens are going to take over and do all sorts of terrible stuff to humanity? Wouldn't put in the legwork if we're going to actually do our research? No, we want the Cliff Notes version. We want the abridged version. The song. In song.
And Yakko's the thing to go to.
Yeah. All right, so then that brings us to then we have the Incredible Gnome in People's Mouths.
I mean, I feel like we've already pretty much talked this over, but
I mean, let me see if what's the main thing to hit though. So outside, just in general, I think we just like the concept.
I think the funniest one was when he turns the conversation over, like when the nurse is like, "But I don't even get a lunch break," and then he takes her side. He's like, "And you're violating labor laws."
That's what, exactly, dude.
How he specifically mentioned the laws in California. Like, you're not giving her a legally required break as mentioned in California law.
They're exceeding a shift of 7 hours.
It's actually a 5-hour shift. You're required a lunch break.
Well, I mean, how do you know it's not different with the nursing facility though?
With the what? With the nursing? I don't know. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. How do you?
I'm just saying that's literally in my contract that if I work a half day, I don't get a lunch break. If I work 5 hours, I get a lunch break.
well, for me, it's like if I work a certain amount of time, I get a half-hour lunch break. If it's in.
You're in Ohio, Jacob. You don't count.
Anyway,
I'm just kidding, Jacob.
So
Ohio's better than California as far as I'm concerned.
Spurned Ohio.
I don't doubt it, Jacob. I don't doubt it. California sucks.
I mean,
Ohio just has a cool name,
and it has good theme parks.
Best theme parks in the world.
And cereal.
Cereal, really?
No, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, it does have cereal. Like
I did not know Ohio was known for cereal.
No, I have no idea.
We also have the world's largest handbasket.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
Well, Ohio's just getting more exciting by the second. I can't really fathom anymore. Beyond this. Let's just refocus. Back to the episode, please. Okay, real quick though. So yeah, Tiki, I'm absolutely with you. I love how he helps out the overworked nurse, and he stole the rascal. And Tiki, here's what kills me about this is why the Incredible Gnome always has my money. Always has my business. It's the fact that we have this absurd idea, and he moves on to the next one. We mirror the exact tone of the Incredible Hulk. We have like the wonderfully dramatic and moving music at the end. Dun, 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 as they're toasting their butterscotch pudding cups.
And they destroyed the wall and ran over a guy.
This is great. Okay, and then we have, I believe, the prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah.
All right, so we meet. Oh, so the brain meets. Brain meets like other villains. It's kind of interesting, like looking at the brain in the villain context, because he is like Doctor Doom. He is trying to take over the world. That does make him a villain, even though we love the brain.
We also love Doctor Doom to some extent.
Well, that as well. That's what I'm saying, though. It's kind of like compelling villains. They're not just like pure mustache twirlers. Some of them are really cool mustache twirlers.
This guy kind of seems like a person Malcolm, like Roddy McDowell would voice.
Yeah, and of course, they've worked with Roddy McDowell.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm bringing him up here. That's why I'm bringing because he voiced like Snowball. Was it Snowball in the original?
Yeah, Snowball. Yeah, you're right.
And like I said, that's why it's like this kind of seems like a Snowball-esque character that he would voice.
So Dr. Doppler, yeah. So I love Dopplerville and everything. You're taking. There's a line that did make me think of you in this sketch. It's like Wes Anderson had a seizure.
Yeah, of course, the Wes Anderson thing. Sure.
So Wes Anderson had a seizure in Brooks Brothers.
And that's like I don't know what the Brooks Brothers are. I'm sorry.
No, Brooks Brothers. That's like a clothing place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
well, I didn't get the second part of that, but I was very happy that Wes Anderson was referenced.
Oh, so that's where the fashion looks. It's like kind of a high. Anyway.
I thought this was just kind of, I don't know, it wasn't one of the better Pinky and the Brain episodes for me.
I do kind of like the reveal at the end, though.
Yeah,
that being said, the next Pinky and the Brain episode we're going to talk about is my favorite one of the season, so we'll get
also
there.
Just the fact that Pinky, like, essentially, I mean, in quotes, he kind of killed everyone in the episode. That's kind of,
unintentionally too. It's kind of like even like in a reverse, and then there were none.
All because he was hungry.
Oh God!
It pretty much is like and then there were none from someone else's perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Which is really funny. All right, so then we have...
And Brain's plan was flawed because I didn't open the umbrella.
He had one job. It's like the Brain's thing about everything else. Like, why they give me such a small job? He couldn't even do it. All right, so Masterpiece Theater. Tiki, Jacob, all I have to say is, where was this when I was a kid? This would have saved me.
I felt the exact same way, Dragon. I love this so much.
This is how you zhuzh up math, okay?
Yes.
It's like forget like 200 watermelons. This is how you do math.
Okay,
yes, give me math with dramatic storytelling.
Here's what I love about this, though. Because as a kid, I would always find these sorts of math problems like really stupidly melodramatic. And like really awkwardly worded, like they nail it, man. They nail it. Like, oh, Carlos wants to buy the how many watermelons? And it's just like, why? Like I don't know. Like as a kid, I was like, okay, like this is stupid. Why are you giving me a math problem? Like I get that it's like to apply like a real world situation to it, but I don't know the fact that they would give the people names and characters. Like it's just a weird thing with standardized tests, man. And I thought this was a really great idea to basically take these these prompts from standardized tests and make a masterpiece theater out of them. I thought this was an inspired concept.
And then how when they get to the answer, everything just suddenly stops. Like the answer is.
All right, that brings us to 12.
All right.
Wagon trainee.
We have the Warner's arc, which essentially is the origin of Chicken Boo.
Yes, it's weird. Just a very, very elaborate sketch just to show the origin of Chicken Boo.
Honestly, I think this is probably my favorite song.
Really?
Yeah, I mean at least the top 3 or 2.
No, that's fair. Right.
It's like it's just kind of weird that of all the original characters from the original series, they're allowed to use Chicken Boo.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's like whose voice do they need for Chicken Boo?
I honestly think that makes sense that they're because who really is gonna want Chicken Boo? Who's gonna hold out for Chicken Boo?
Chicken Boo was always like the one that everyone complained about. Like the audience was like, "We don't like this chicken. We don't get it." Where Chicken Boo?
Honestly, I preferred like Chicken Boo over like Katie Kaboom.
Really? I mean, you didn't. Look, I think we used too much Katie Kaboom, but I liked it though. But of course, Chicken Boo hilarious when they did the Batman crossover. Chicken.
I mean, Chicken Boo. Like I said, that's one reason why I like Chicken Boo.
No, I look again. I would also.
Well, I mean, like is a strong word here, but.
All right.
I mean, I didn't dislike him as much as other people do.
Just the fact the Warners could not manage the arc, so all the mythical creatures essentially died or got lost. So that's
all because they're trying to figure out who Zega was, and we got to see the return of Dominic the Dragon.
Yeah,
he was like one of my favorite characters from the first season.
Yeah, he was really yeah.
I said I just really love this, like the whole concept of the song, and like Yakko, and I mean Wacko trying to eat the egg and everything.
All right, so then we have the long overdue apology video.
Okay, this one I thought was a really, really good idea. I just, unfortunately, the execution, I can't even explain why the execution didn't really work that well for me. It just didn't. I don't know.
Was the goose thing too much?
Maybe.
Yeah, see, I thought it was kind of nicer than the mock cancel culture, but, maybe they didn't stick the landing quite as well. I thought they stuck it okay, for what it was.
And they're like, we're celebrities. We're allowed to be horrible.
Yeah.
All right, so this Pinky and the Brain sketch was magnificent.
Narf over troubled waters.
Yeah, I love this so much. I don't know. I thought that because we don't get a Pinky and the Brain sketch in the finale, so I thought this was a great kind of finale Pinky and the Brain sketch. Because I don't know. First of all, just the lyrics that they come up with to describe how Simon and Garfunkel songs are written absolutely kill me. Absolutely fucking kill me. It's so on point.
It's like we think we're being metaphorical, but we're just stating.
Yes, it's so on point. It's fucking hilarious.
So I really like doing these stories of Pinky and the Brain through time, and the thing that kills me in this episode is the fact that we said 1965, and the big climax is on the Ed Sullivan Show with Maurice LaMarche doing his Ed Sullivan impression. I love that.
Yes.
And the fact that he's like, the fact that's like, we just switched to color last week.
Yeah,
color.
Yeah, that was great.
I love it. Again, this thing had to be in 65, so the color thing would just bite him in the end. You knew it was coming, and I loved it.
And then, of course, we echo so many great Graduate moments. We
do the ending of The Graduate.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, so good.
They literally did the ending beat by beat. No, it was great.
I mean, I feel like this is both parts, like a Simon and Garfunkel parody and a Graduate parody, and I think it does both parts like really fucking well.
Well, I mean, Simon and Garfunkel does go along well with Graduate.
Well, yeah, I know, Jacob, but I'm saying like they really do a good job of the parody element of Simon and Garfunkel, like specifically pointing out why their music is a little dated. I love it, but it's a little dated.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is to me easily my favorite Pinky and the Brain sketch. I think I am a little biased just because Simon and Garfunkel was a huge part of my my high school music repertoire. So I just really, really enjoyed seeing those lyrics getting the piss taken out of them. But
you know what I'd like to see? I should look into this one day. I want to see if anyone ever did a parody where it was Odie and Garfield but dressed like Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh my God.
that'd be great.
That'd just be. Can you imagine someone would have had to have tried that over these many years, right?
Oh, and I also love the gag about Garfunkel's solo album sounding like absolute shit because that's totally accurate.
I just need to watch the Garfield and Friends to see if they did that parody.
Garfunkel and Friends.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have a visit to the Warner's vault, which basically you got to see. This is like a cute kind of history of animation one here. We saw the Warner Brothers through time, like we parodied, the Steamboat Willie with Steamboat Yakko and the wartime stuff, and then the Flintstones with the Warner Brothers, which is great. And in the 70s, kind of wipe your feet PSA. Which basically, I love that.
I've got 3 words for you here. 3 words.
All right.
Simpsons did it.
What a great use of 3 words, Tiki. So
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, with Itchy and Scratchy Land is pretty iconic, so it's hard for me to not see the Steamboat Willie parody and stuff and not think of Steamboat Itchy.
And my point is, I like Dot calling out. Jacob, I believe you brought this up earlier. We have like the little crawl here, or saying this is a dated reference, where Dot calls out the political climate of the '70s and how it's kind of history repeating itself with current events with a really crooked president. Again, a dated reference talking about other administrations. Anyway,
depending on one's perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on one's perspective, it could still apply to the current administration too.
Exactly, or it could be Nixon. So
Yeah, it could be either one. The thing is, it's applicable to pretty much any time you watch this.
Could be Truman. I don't know. So, let's see. So again, from America's Council of Cleanliness.
That damn Carter.
Yes.
Yeah. That guy's nuts. All right, that brings us number 13. Finale.
Baby Brainy.
Oh God, that was great.
They reused, and you know why they did? They had to do that because the Brain finale with the whole car origin episode was a huge hit last season. That's how they had to put Baby Brainy.
It's kind of funny how both finales kind of like revealed origins of certain characters.
Yeah, so before we get to the origin thing, we have the origins of Ben Franklin's genius with all about the Benjamin.
Okay, so this one, like Christopher Columbus, I feel really works with the Warner's formula.
Also, John DiMaggio having a lot of fun as Franklin.
Except Franklin was seemingly less deserving of it.
Were there any revelations that Ben Franklin wasn't
Franklin? There weren't really.
He was more eccentric than anything else.
He was a big blowhard, as far as I know.
Really? That's been documented? He was a blowhard?
He was a braggart.
Because I assumed he was.
No. To be fair, he was a bit of a head of his time.
No, I know, but he did have a reputation of. I don't know. There's a couple cut Hamilton songs about.
Let me ask you this, Tiki.
So maybe that's not the best source to go to for it. But...
Was he kind of a Bob Kane? Did he steal credit with the patents and stuff? Is that a real thing that happened? You think?
If he did, it's not really confirmed.
It's not about. It's less about him stealing credit. It's more about him being overly braggadocious about the stuff that he did deserve credit for.
Right.
To be fair, a lot of his inventions were amazing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, slice it. It's a really accurate.
That doesn't change the fact that the short is funny though.
Yeah, accurate or no, this is a really good idea. It's like, what if Ben Franklin was a blowhard anyway? A slice it in the fact, like, what if all his ideas came from the Warners? They hired as apprentices reluctantly and just took the credit, and the Warners don't like that.
To be fair, they did sign it. They didn't read the fine print.
That is true, but they didn't have bifocals at that time either.
That is a good point.
I think the funniest. Okay, there were two really funny guys. So one, the Sam Smith thing, was just so random and funny to me. The Sam Smith loves the Warners, and they just did not love him back.
It's like he's too clingy.
Yeah, too clingy. And the Weather Revenge is like a cartoony thing. It just cracked me up. The fact that for some reason they could, in his day planner, they just rewrote how the weather was, and he just couldn't win. Just loved it. All right. Okay, let's see. So then that brings us to 23 and WB.
What is the reference? The title reference? Yeah, I understand a lot of the references, but
it's 23andMe, like a DNA test.
Right.
23 chromosomes.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
We skipped 80s cats.
Oh, we did.
What was this episode?
Oh yeah, you're right. So the opening was the anime Thundercats opening. That's what
It's just kind of funny that this is like one of the first things they revealed about season 2 to the public, but this is like in the final episode.
Right. It is kind of funny how they delayed that.
So it's kind of interesting how they did that. Okay, so 23 and WB.
Okay, so we're lampooning the whole ancestry 23andMe test here, and basically we have the big revelation that we have a couple of big events happen in this last one. Where one, Naruto is technically related to the Warners. At least we think. And that kind of leads to some basically kind of a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory homage with this kind of weeding out of the relatives going after the fortune. I think the redeeming quality of this is the fact that the Warners, as we've established, the Warners, they get kind of lonely. It's an unreported kind of comedic factor. They are looking for family for laughs a lot of the time, but they are looking for family.
I mean, what was the one where they were attending the party in the first episode, the first original series?
Yeah,
but we were good.
exactly. That's something you feel for these kids, and they always get put in the corner essentially. So it's the fact that I think the fact they found out they had family, and I think what carries this really well is the fact that they're not after the money of the matriarch of Flora. They're not after her money, which is why she really took to them. They're not the money grubbing relatives. They just like having a relative, like being part of a family, which it kind of I think gave us some grit along with the hilarity of like these Willy Wonka trials of like, okay, nope, they're out. Then of course the big reveal, and this is the game changer for season 3. We find out who Narita's real relative is. It's Ralph. Good God. Ralph is not just that. Like he's like a nephew, man. This is a big deal. Ralph is the nephew to a major fortune, which means he is now Narita's boss.
And
Yes.
and it's the company that owns Warner Brothers.
And he's making decisions that in some cases have felt authentic to Warner Brothers in recent years.
And they're all like food-themed, badly themed parodies of superheroes.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman bread or Wonder Bread.
There is Wonder Woman because there's a bread called Wonder Bread.
Yeah. And let's see. So there's the meatball superheroes thing, just ridiculous. Since the Warner's calling out, well, that's a problem for next season. Assuming we get a next season.
And he's borderline bankrupting the studio.
Yeah. So that's again. It's like so rarely do we set up something to be paid off in another season. They really hedge their bets. But again, as Tiki so very smartly pointed out to me, they knew they were getting another season, which I should have noticed.
I don't think they knew. Honestly don't think they knew when they wrote it. But it's like it was basically confirmed just like a month or so ago, I believe.
Well, there you go. That brings us to the end.
Woohoo!
All right, let's thank the folks. Get out of here.
Yeah, so big thanks to that guy for coming on, at least in the original, but it was a long conversation, so I don't blame you for dipping out, but happy to have you. And yeah, all right.
You gotta
Someone,
Good night,
everybody.
Of course, that's the outro we should go with, obviously. All right.